The Zephyrian High Command had dismissed the warnings as primitive posturing. After all, what could a species that had barely escaped their own gravity well possibly do to the mighty Zephyrian Empire? Their crystalline warships had conquered 17 star systems. Their plasma technology had reduced entire civilizations to cosmic dust, and their psychic abilities could crush minds across light years. Earth's little yellow star and its third planet were nothing more than a curiosity, a backwater system that had somehow managed to send crude radio signals into the void. Commander Vexthal stood on the bridge of the flagship Dominion's Edge, his 6 eyes gleaming with anticipation. The conquest of Earth would be swift, decisive, and profitable. The planet's abundant water and diverse biosphere would make excellent additions to the Empire's resource portfolio. "Sir," his tactical officer hissed through mandibles that clicked nervously, "we're receiving another transmission from the human settlement on their moon. They're repeating their warning." Vexthal's laugh was a sound like breaking glass. "Play it again. I find their desperation amusing." The bridge speakers crackled to life with a clear, determined human voice. "This is Luna Base Command to all approaching vessels. You are entering a restricted zone. We strongly advise you to alter course immediately. This is your final warning." "Final warning," Vexthal mocked, his voice dripping with contempt. "From a species that still uses chemical propulsion. Helm, maintain course. Weapons, charge the plasma arrays. Let's give these humans a demonstration of true power." On Luna Base, Dr. Seelan Chen monitored the approaching fleet through the base's advanced sensor array. Her fingers danced across holographic displays, calculating trajectories and energy signatures. The Zephyrian ships were massive, each one easily 10 times the size of humanity's largest vessels, but size wasn't everything. "Kareem," she called to her partner across the command center, "are the resonance mines in position?" Captain Kareem Hassan looked up from his tactical console, his dark eyes reflecting the amber glow of the displays. "All 732 mines are active and synchronized. The pattern is holding steady." He paused, watching the alien fleets approach. "Seelan, are you sure about this? We've never tested the resonance network on this scale." Seelan's smile was grim but confident. "The Zephyrians use crystalline technology exclusively, their ships, their weapons, their life support systems. Everything resonates at specific frequencies." She highlighted the approaching fleet on the main display. "We've been monitoring their transmissions for months. We know their harmonic signatures." The warnings humanity had broadcast weren't threats. They were genuine attempts to prevent unnecessary destruction. Earth scientists had discovered something the arrogant Zephyrians couldn't comprehend. Sometimes, the smallest force applied at precisely the right frequency could shatter the mightiest. "Fortress." "Sir." The Zephyrian tactical officer's voice carried a note of alarm. "I'm detecting some kind of energy buildup in the asteroid field. The readings are strange." Vexthal barely glanced at the readings. "Probably some primitive mining operation." "Ignore it. Focus on the planet's defense satellites." But Kareem's finger was already hovering over the activation switch. "Seelan, they're not altering course. 30 seconds until they reach the resonance field perimeter." "I know," she whispered, her hand steady on her console. "Humanity learned something important from our own history, Kareem. We learned that sometimes you have to break a few things to get someone's attention." The Zephyrian fleet continued its arrogant advance, plasma weapons charging, boarding pods prepared for deployment. They had come expecting to face desperate humans firing crude projectiles and nuclear warheads. They had not come expecting to face a species that had spent decades studying the mathematical beauty of harmonic resonance. 20 seconds, Kareem announced. On the bridge of Dominion's Edge, warning lights suddenly began flashing across every console. "Sir," the tactical officer's voice was now openly panicked. "I'm reading massive harmonic disturbances throughout the asteroid field. The frequency patterns are—" 10 seconds, Kareem said quietly. Vexthal finally turned toward the sensor displays, his 6 eyes widening in sudden understanding. The primitive humans hadn't scattered random mines throughout the asteroid field. They had created a perfectly synchronized resonance network, each mind calibrated to emit the exact frequency needed to exploit the crystalline structure of Zephyrian technology. "Evasive maneuvers!" Vexthal screamed. But it was too late. Seelan pressed the activation key. 732 resonance mines activated simultaneously, filling the space around Earth with a precisely calculated harmonic frequency. The effect on the Zephyrian fleet was immediate and catastrophic. The crystalline hulls of their mighty warships began to vibrate, then crack, then shatter like wine glasses struck by an opera singer's high note. Internal systems failed in cascade, failures as resonance waves propagated through every crystalline component. Weapons arrays crumbled, life support systems collapsed, and the proud vessels of the Zephyrian Empire broke apart like fragile ornaments. In less than 30 seconds, the invasion fleet was reduced to glittering debris scattered across the void. Commander Vexthal's final transmission was barely coherent through the static of his failing communications array. "Impossible. How did they know? Our technology is superior." His words were cut short as the bridge of Dominion's edge split, along its crystalline stress fractures, venting its atmosphere into space. In Luna Base's command center, Kareem and Seelan watched the tactical display as the threat indicators winked out one by one. The silence stretched for long moments before Kareem finally spoke. "They could have just listened to the warnings," he said quietly. Seelan nodded, her expression sad but resolute. "We gave them every chance. The warnings weren't empty threats. They were genuine attempts to prevent this." She began composing a message to Earth Command. Maybe word will spread among the other alien civilizations. Maybe they'll learn that humanity doesn't make idle threats. The message she transmitted would indeed spread throughout the galaxy, carried by the few Zephyrian scout ships that had remained at the edge of the system. The story would become legend among the stars, how the primitive humans of Earth had destroyed an entire invasion fleet, not through superior firepower, but through superior understanding of the universe's fundamental principles. The humans had been warned to expect visitors. The visitors had been warned to stay away. Only one species had heeded the warnings, and only one species survived the encounter. In the end, Arrogance had indeed brought ruin, but not to Earth.